Viewer discretion advised. This is our 18 and up adult only cookie class. It's time! This is our adult only Valentine's Day class. So, once again, you need to be 18 to do this class. Just my personal preference. But first things first, we are going to open up this box. You're going to have a lot of random papers. You're going to have a class sheet. You're going to have instructions on how to access this YouTube video. You're going to have instructions on care for the cookies, all the bags of icing, which there should be 5 in there. I did the best I could with making the class individualized. We really needed like 2 more different colors, but I was able to get it down to 5, and I did give you some bonus cookies. The class is only supposed to be 6 cookies, but I couldn't help but put in a couple small ones and then this giant one too. So we are gonna start decorating. Let's get all of our stuff out, and I'm gonna go over all of the tools that are in the kit as we start decorating these cookies. First thing that needs to be done is all of the cookies need to be cut out of the cello bag. So go ahead and get a pair of scissors because you're going to need it anyway for the icing. Cut all these cookies out and take them out of the bag. Remember not to open them until you're ready to decorate because they do start to lose moisture when they're not in the bags. I didn't mean to put this many cookies in here, but you know what? Let's just roll with it. We're going to decorate all these. It's going to be a great time. We are going to start off with the pink icing, but honestly, after using the bags, I feel like the pink liquefied a little too much. So if you wanted to start with the white icing, you can. But regardless, we need to do this to all of the bags. You need to massage them. The reason why we massage the bags is because we actually are mixing all the ingredients back. And here I am trying to just put that tip back in, which this class I probably have to be careful of what I say. So I'm pushing that in because I'm trying to put my finger in the hole to massage the inside of the bag. Okay, that sounds very inappropriate too, but basically you get the point. I'm massaging the bag because I want to mix all the ingredients again. You are going to have to pick a dominant color that you want to use for the worksheet. I used pink in this video, but again, I felt like it was just a little too liquidy. I think you should use the white if you feel comfortable with that. Since I am using the exact same boxes you have, I should have the exact same consistencies. I tried to go for a medium consistency with all the colors, and I tried not to discriminate, so I put 3 different colors in there. The pink and the white are things we're going to use for outlining and some decorations, and then for some special parts that have pink in them as well. So if you want to go ahead and grab your class sheet, we're going to start there and warm up those hands. So the first thing you need to know is how to cut these bags open. So you want them flat on the seam. So you want the seam up, you want to press the bag down, and you're gonna cut just the tip, and I mean just the tip. So you can always cut more, and as you see in your bag, I did give you an extra one just in case you went a little too far, but I just cut the tip off, and then I find that tip and I put it in the trash. You don't want to find a piece of plastic in your cookies because it flew off onto it and you decorated over it. So if your hole is too small, holes that are too small. Oh gosh. Well, if your hole's too small, it will definitely come out snake-like. There's a couple of different ways to hold your icing bag. I use the table to balance my arm. You can hold your wrist, or you can stick your finger out like I did previously to kind of guide the bag. So remember, when you apply pressure to the icing, that's when it comes out. So as soon as you start to press, you're going to get a little bit of that icing sticking out of the bag, ready to go. And while we are working on our lines, I just wanted to let you know this video is only about 35 minutes long, and decorating these cookies in class is typically 2 hours. Feel free to pause this as you need to so that you can catch up on decorating, and I want you to be having fun, and hopefully you're with some friends, especially decorating this spicy box. But just letting you know, feel free to pause at any time. That way you can catch up. Don't feel rushed by this timing because it does and should take at minimum 2 hours to get this done. Back to our class worksheet. So now we are decorating the loop-de-loops here. I just slightly move my wrist here. You can see I have most of the control in my hand and the amount of pressure that I'm putting on the bag. I usually lift the bag up a little bit so I can see the icing falling down on the lines. It makes it a little bit easier to control. Constant pressure is really important for icing control. So you want it to be even and continuous. That way, you don't have icing breaks. But if you have icing breaks, no big deal. You can always go back and put icing over that spot and use your wooden scribe tool to blend them together. Circles are the bane of every cookie decorator's existence. If you are right handed, you're going to want to go clockwise. And if you are left handed, you're going to want to go counterclockwise. That way, your arm doesn't block the circle at some point. So that's why we do it like that. After we're done with our circles, we're going to work on these dots. So when you see solid dots like this, you are actually going to start from the middle of that dot and apply pressure and allow that icing to build up. That is what creates the dot. You can do that for cute noses. In this class, we will be using some of those strategic techniques for nipples. If you are wanting to do the hearts, it's the same way. You build up in the corner and you're going to pull down like a teardrop. And those make cute button noses like on bunnies. We will not be making bunnies in this class, so don't worry about that. But in the future, if you are making something more appropriate for your family, you can definitely use this bunny technique. When you are doing the hearts, you always want to start from the crease. So I typically start from the middle and go around, and then I go back from the middle and do the other side. And, just to make things difficult for no reason, I decided to do a Valentine's Day sheet, which is why I have you writing love. This is really not the best icing to write love in. I even switched to the white, and I was like, ooh, this is still a little bit liquidy for writing. So there are three main types of icing. There is flood, which is the kind of icing that just pools across the whole cookie. There's a medium consistency, which is what we're using today. It's a little bit harder to control, but you can both outline and flood with it. Then there's a stiff icing, which maybe we really should have been using more stiff icing today. But stiff is what you use for outlining, but you typically also need a flood, which requires two icing bags for one color, and that can get tricky and exhaustive when you do it that way. But if you were doing a custom order, I'd recommend it. The fourth icing type is for handwriting, and that's a type we don't have today, but we might as well practice saying I love you just in case you need to write it on any of these body parts. So we're going to start with the lips cookie because we are going to start with the O face. This is a little bit tricky because we can't really visualize the whole O because we have to do it in sections so that we can have that definition. So you're going to start by outlining the top of the lip. Then you are going to go back and start in that same corner and kind of make that upside down U to make that O. Then we are going to fill it in, which is called flooding. When you flood the inside, you do not have to be a warrior and flood all the way at the edge. You can flood in the middle and take your wooden scribe, which is your tool for making cookies. One side has a boo-boo side that is flat where you can scrape icing off. The other is a point where you can actually maneuver the icing, and you'll see me do that here. I'll fill in the lips a decent amount, and then I'm going to take that wooden tool and I'm going to work the icing to the edge of my line to fill it in. So now we're going to put this back up there, and I'm going to pull down the big kahuna. We are going to put hands on this, but the reason we are pulling down first because we're going to start with a little bit of maybe premature ejaculation. So I am going to make teardrops here, and the teardrops will just give it that feeling of like water spouting out at your face. I don't know where it's spouting out to, but it is spouting out. And once I have these teardrops, I'm going to fill them in the same way that I did with the lips, with flooding. And I do think at some point this video goes out, and so I had to re-record it. But it turns out that it didn't, and it fully recorded everything. So here I am fixing the teardrops. You'll see me use my boo-boo stick here because you don't want your teardrops to touch, because you want it to be very distinct, that it's like 3 different drops of semen. So I'm scraping off here, and then I'll also show you a video of me doing it again on another penis, because I want to make sure that you really can see the definition, because definition is important when you are making a penis cookie. So now that we're going to get in the nitty gritty of decorating, I just want to remind you to make sure to have massaged your bags, and now you can cut all the rest of them open. Remember to take the plastic tip out of your cookie area. That way it doesn't end up inside of a cookie and someone ends up eating plastic. But that is what I'm doing here, and then we can start decorating all the other cookies. So there are 2 cookies that look alike. One is going to be, it's TNA. So we are going to put a thong on this one. So we're going to start from the crack and make our way up to the left hip, and then we'll go over to the right and go back down, and we're going to fill this section in. That way our thong, the thong can start drying. Then after I'm done with that, I'm gonna pull this little guy down. And you know, in the past we've decorated him as a penis. This time I am gonna make him my dildo friend. So I'm gonna make him pink. I'm gonna make him pink. I'm gonna add some white to make it pretty in here. We're gonna do some wet on wet technique. And then, you know, some of these have accentuated accents on the outside. So I'm going to add some sprinkles. Fun fact, I was a sexual health educator in college. I did over 250 presentations to people about from everything from abstinence, contraceptives. I had questions all over the place. So I would carry around these penis models so that I could teach people how to properly put on a condom. And so, you know, it is reminiscent of that, and they were all multicolored. So that is why we are going with pink today with outline, and then we are going to flood it, but don't over flood it because we are going to add some white and use our scribe to kind of mix it in to give it like a cool waterfall wet on wet effect. So now I'm going to get white and I'm going to put it on the head, and I am going to take my scribe and I am going to start making little spirals and squigglies down. I'm going to add some more white in there. Just give it like a cool like visual effect. This is called wet on wet. You can do this with making stars, hearts, lines, make like a chevron pattern, all that fun stuff. And then, like I said before, I'm going to take some of the heart sprinkles, not all of them, and I'm just going to put them around the top because, you know, it's pretty, and some dildos have embellishments, so why not? Now I'm going to bring our little guy down here, and I'm also going to bring out the black sprinkles, which are pubic hair, and we are going to do the shaft first. So I'm going to pick a color in outline. I'm going to put a line where the head is, outline the rest of the penis, and then I am going to use those black sprinkles and I'm going to put it on the balls as pubic hair, and you are more than welcome to do the same. So we're going to place this cookie above, and we're going to bring the one down that looks like a bowling pin. This one is hard to guess for people. So I always ask them, what do you think it is? And so let's start drawing it a little bit. We are going to do 2 marks on this one right now. We are going to put a little triangle at the top, and then we're going to do a little circle at the bottom just to start. So you can watch what I do here with my hands, and then you can copy it. Then we're going to let that dry, and we're going to pull that big kahuna down once again, and we are going to put hands on it. Now, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm going to, I guess, just emulate my life. My hands are going to go on it. So I just look at it one more time, and I'm going to put that grip on this giant penis. So what I'm going to do is an outline first. I attempted to like put like a nail on it, but I'm going to wait until I am actually done with like the hands, and the hands are dry, and then I'll put nails at the end so you can see it. But I did try to do it in the beginning, but it wasn't staying as well, so I should have abandoned that thought right then. But you can watch and see, you could do the same, but we'll be able to add nails at the end. So I draw the fingers by, like, I do one loop, then I do the next one, then I'm going to do the next one. Then I'm going to fill in every other. The reason why you're not going to fill in all 4 is because if you do it, it's going to be one big glob. You need the icing to have time to set and get a little bit dried so that you can have definition. So that's why you don't see me fill in all the fingers right away. So let's have a PG moment. I'm going to bring down that tiny, cute little heart. You can do whatever design you want on this. Like, this is just for you. You want to fill it all in and put some sprinkles on it, you can go ahead and do that. I was trying to be fancy. I did like some kind of S-curve design where I filled the top with white, filled the bottom with white, and put sprinkles on it. So you can watch how I do that. But you really can do whatever you want with this heart. But if you're going to make like a design like I am, you outline the area first, then you go in and fill. That way you can actually see what the design is going to look like. Also, this is a good time to tell you, plates are really great when you work with sprinkles. Now, I couldn't do it, as you'll see at the end, with the big kahuna, but when you're working with sprinkles, it's really nice to be able to put the cookie on the plate, put the sprinkles on, adjust the sprinkles using your wooden tool, and then put the sprinkles back into like the bowl or package or wherever without it spilling all over the place. So plates are really handy whenever you're decorating cookies. So we're gonna do another wet on wet technique here. So we're bringing the other cookie down. We're gonna do some boobies. So TNA. So we're gonna outline the whole cookie. I mean, yes, this one has a uniboob, but really it's no big deal. But I picked the tan color, so the one in the middle, and the brown to do the areola. This is going to be a wet on wet technique. So I'm going to fill this whole cookie first, get all the icing spread across the whole cookie, and then I'm going to take the brown and I'm just going to do the areola. We'll come back when the cookie is dry to add an actual nipple, but you can watch here how I do it and then copy the same. And use whatever colors you want. If you wanted to use the lighter skin tone and have pink nipples, you're more than welcome to do that. So, but this is just what I chose to do. So now we're bringing that bowling pin cookie back down, and I am going to pick my skin tone now, and I'm going to use brown. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to gently outline that top little triangle V thing. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I need to fill in that top as the hood, but I don't want the pink to totally disappear. So I outline it first, and then I will come back in and I will fill in that whole hood later. Now I'm going to grab my pink icing and I'm going to do like a slit, and then I'm going to go around that little pink ball. What I just did there was clean my icing bag. If you start to get gunk on the end of your icing bag, definitely clean that off as you're decorating. That way there's no buildup and it's not crusty. And now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go back into the top now and fill out the hood. By now, you probably have an idea of what this is now. So now the icing's set just a little bit longer. I'm going to do that. You know, in real life, icing needs to set about 2 to 3 hours before moving on to the next part, or be in a dehydrator for about 20 minutes if you want that crisp cookie look. So that's why these royal icing cookies are so expensive, because they take so long for those perfectly looking cookies. So I'm going to bring the big eye back down here and I'm going to fill in the other hands. that way, or other fingers, so that way that can get drying, so that we'll be able to decorate the shaft and the head later. But this is me trying to maximize my time because I know this needs a lot more drying time than the other cookies, so we keep coming back to it and doing little pieces. So now we're going to do an outline of the vestibular bulbs. And so take the skin color and we're just going to go around. I mean, for a cookie, this is as good as we can do. This is not a 3D replica, but it is a cookie. So we're just going to outline it. And then you can actually outline the whole rest of the cookie if you want to, just so that it creates a barrier. So when we're ready to go and fill in that icing, you can just fill it in and know that there's a barrier there. Then let's pull this little guy down and we're going to finish off his head, and he is completely done after this, or finished, or done. I'm not sure which one we should say. Then let's grab our little heart. If you're still decorating that, if you're following the format that I'm doing now, I'm going to fill in this middle section with pink, and just, it's cute for Valentine's weekend. So now back to our big guy. We are going to outline the head, and then I'm going to outline the shaft and the balls, and I'm only going to fill in the head because, again, I want that definition. If I was making these cookies for like a bachelorette party or something like that, I actually would maybe use a little bit thicker of an icing and maybe change the head color a little bit, just to, I don't know, bring some realism to the cookie. I'm not 100% sure. But so you can see I'm outlining here. Don't flood both sections together because then you won't have any definition. So we're going to go back to the vagina and we're going to fill in the rest of it and fill out that clitoral body. So take your skin tone that you're using and go ahead and fill in the rest of it. Then you're going to bring our big friend down one last time. This is when I tried to put it on a plate and it did not work. So I just left it down. I filled it out and then I took the black sprinkles again and just put all of that pubic hair on those balls. I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me. I'm so grateful that you are here. Definitely check out my website, www.wellhellocookie.com, for any more in person and virtual classes. And I hope that you have a sweet rest of your day.